School Leadership Mentoring Program is one of the strands of the leadership courses that we have. It's bringing together a group of principals or head teachers to develop their own tools to address issues in the areas of leadership that they have in their schools.
It's a pilot scheme of about 10 schools, 5 in each cluster in secondary schools and 5 in the primary schools. A template will come out at the end of this program. Now, that is good enough for those 15 schools, but the real beauty of it will be when we now use the templates to cover all the schools in Lagos State.
One of the key things that we noticed is head teachers are very good administrators. The challenge is they need to be reminded about their leadership role, leadership capacity, and the impact they actually can have as leaders. And that's where the idea of a school leadership program was born.
What we have done here today is a policy dialogue, and that's the very start. It's like the launch of the project where we involve policymakers, and they are the ones who then identify the areas of school leadership that they want to focus on because they're in the system.
And the head teachers are put through a school leadership module as the first part of this mentoring program. And the next module, they then come together with colleagues from the UK, head teachers who are already doing a lot of work in their areas. They then get an opportunity to think around one big issue. Based on that issue, they then put their heads together, see how do people do it in the UK, how are we already doing it in Africa, how can we find a better way to do it, and then come up with key tools that they can apply. They then go away, spend like 3 months back in their schools, piloting, testing out, doing trials on these modules. After those 3 months, they're going to meet again in the UK. And the UK head teachers again are going to get an opportunity to share some of their thoughts around what they've been doing, see how they're doing it in the UK schools, and help the teachers from Africa to see what lessons they can learn from there.
At the end of the day, it will be them taking ownership of the tools to address their issues that they may have talked about.
I believe that exchanging ideas with others that have gone through the same challenges will definitely impact positively on our own school managers.
I couldn't think of a better focus for a programme than an opportunity for me to learn alongside Nigerian colleagues in a totally different concept and context, but with the same outcome to how do we improve pupil outcomes through looking at teacher effectiveness.
All head teachers, whether you are in Nigeria or whether you are indeed in the UK, I think we all share very similar issues that we have to deal with. I think first of all, school leadership can be quite a lonely place, so there is nothing nicer than spending time with other head teachers talking through the issues that you have in terms of raising attainment within your school.
We want to share from the best practices all over the world. We want to share the experience from UK, from US, from wherever, so as to improve our own system.
Pamela even mentioned parents in UK being encouraged to be interested in their children.
Some parents don't like to come into school, or they won't come to school. So we arranged to meet them at the local supermarket. One supermarket chain gave parents that turned up a voucher money off their shopping.
Even in foreign lands, it's a bit difficult to make parents to be encouraged in their children's welfare.
Hoping that I can share ideas and take something back to England, as well as help leaders move forward in Nigeria.
You know, having time out from your school to actually think and plan and work together will benefit not only Nigerian schools, but also will benefit the UK.
These children only get one chance, and it must be the best chance, because they come from families where there is no chance.
The participants were handpicked by the Commissioner of Education as well, and people who are in charge of education in Lagos State. And so that makes, in terms of the people who were picked to participate, it gives us a very good leverage, because these participants, compared to other participants, these are better breeds of participants.
Now, as head teachers and as directors and as leaders, one of the tools you must have, one of the skills you must have, is the ability to develop somebody else who takes over your position, in quotes, or you develop a leader. Most times your teachers, not because they don't want to achieve, they don't know how to go about it. And what they need at that time is not to say you're dull or you're not intelligent or you're not hardworking. What they need is somebody to be behind them and coach them.
Before coming here, I've always thought of motivation being limited to extrinsic aspects. But here we have been told that motivation cannot be given by anybody. A leader must just try every means to instill in the followership that attribute of motivation, so that motivation should come from within.
After this training, when I go back, I would like to impart the knowledge I receive here to other head teachers, to other teachers and the peoples and other local governments.
We are going to have changes in mentoring, evaluation, which is the basic thing in handling most of the teachers, students, and even as a leader. You have to evaluate yourself to make sure success is achieved at the end of the day.
I've learned equally that every individual teacher should have personal plan, behavioral plan. And if we are able to do that, the teachers too, we ensure that the children themselves that they are teaching, they set targets and they have behavioral plan for themselves.
Our lesson plans will be improved upon. Then most importantly, our teachers, our head teachers, our school heads will be connected to their colleagues in UK.
I want to return to my zone, if I'm permitted, to form clusters of schools where the ideas, the messages received here will be disseminated and monitored.
We were given a sort of assignment by the British Council that we should do some observation, and it's part of our program too. We have a plan, a working plan, to make sure most of these things are done, especially after the seminars and the workshop we had with them in the council.
Every bit of the lesson that I received there, I've come back home. First, my management staff, the vice principals, the HODs, the year tutors, I've had series of meetings with them. I've interacted with them on things that they could do that will make them to ignite the spirit of the teachers under them in the various departments.
We have done some work concerning the mentoring duty, in which teachers were able to do some teaching. The class observation was taken, and in the course of observing the teachers, we were there to see what has really happened. And at the end of the day, we have a tool that we have to use in assessing the class observation that has taken place.
Well, we have observed some teachers. The maths teacher, Mr. Akimbowale, LK.
We observed that the teacher used appropriate instructional materials. The materials were adequate for all the learners, and it made the learning real and interesting.
Behavioral objectives. We observed that Mr. Akimbowale did not give the students the class rules. So you have to take note of that.
I want to say a very big thank you for the objectivity and the analysis you have done. In fact, I've taken note of all those things. The gradings were done properly, and I've taken note of my strengths and weaknesses.
The idea of really making teachers themselves to think ahead of time so that they could be able to effectively challenge the students. I've told them, you as a teacher, you prepare. So when you prepare, you have the confidence to challenge the students to think by themselves.
We carry the children along now. Before, we all do the talking alone. But now, she's telling us to carry the children along, which we now practice now. And the children so much enjoyed it.
Hold her now. Cannot walk. I'm taking her home. So that means the girl is very weak.
Very good.
We have to go vividly into the pupils' exercise books, see how far they have gone in the past and even today, and try to give judgment on the various areas, the key areas, the neatness of the pupils' work, the markings that are done by the teacher, the subject coverage by the teacher's teaching, the pupils' response. We need to interview the pupil.
Without this course, I used to go to the class to check the teachers, but not actually as committedly or as inquisitively as I do it now because of the British Council course. Because I know at the end of the day, I will give my reports. But after the course, I have redesigned my own report sheet to reflect the name of my school, my logo, at least to show that I'm doing something extra outside the class.
So we are going to move out of this place, go to other zones, and also sell the idea, teach them what we have learned, so that we promote teaching and learning, which will be very, very effective.